Okay. Oh. There, now can, oh, no, I just muted myself. Okay, I unmuted myself. Can you hear?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes.
All right. How are you?
Okay, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. Everybody's in my office sick in the front office.
Oh, what's going on? This weather's catching up with them, isn't it?
Yeah, our court clerk has COVID.
Not good.
No, and our receptionist, I don't know what's going on with her, but I'm hoping she's okay. I was planning on being off at noon tomorrow, but I don't think that's going to happen.
How are you?
Teresa, how are you feeling?
I'm doing good. I had a series of holiday parties today, and that's why I'm looking all festive and everything.
Okay.
The machinist hall, then the attorneys have something for us at the local bar place, whatever, sports bar.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, I gotta go. I have to get ready for my BOA meeting. I gotta see y'all later. Y'all keep having fun for me though.
I understand that.
Sound like me. We all met at Cooper's Hawk today in Town and Country. It's it's a winery, but it's an eatery as well. And so we all ate there. And of course, those that drank. And
what did you eat?
I gotta go.
You know you don't eat.
And no, of course, it's networking.
Yeah.
That's a nice place.
Cooper's Hawk.
Yeah.
I had a really nice time. This is my third time being there. So
Okay.
each time I've gone, I'm like, I'm gonna try something different. So today I had the vegetarian enchiladas. And so they were really good.
Oh, very good.
So I'll try those again. They were so good.
Well, y'all did pretty good then. All I had was sound like one of my kids. So all I had was a piece of chicken.
Not a piece of chicken.
Oh, well, I know you still hungry. We won't hold you long.
Right.
Well, I've got my first city clerk conference in May, and it's in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So It's from the 14th to the 17th.
Well, that's time enough to go and do the tour.
What tour?
Prince.
You know what? I'm gonna press that king size bed right after each seminar I have. That's just what I'm gonna do.
You will
You
have
got to-
decisions to
You got to
make.
go to Mall of America though.
But then that's mean I'm gonna have to spend some money.
No, you ain't got to spend no money. Just walk through.
You go to a mall, you gotta spend some money. You just cannot go to a mall and not spend no
Oh,
money.
we can't hear you. Well, I can't.
I can't go to a mall and not spend any
Me
Right.
either.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy
Well, I've
something.
been shopping with Teresa. Teresa shopped till she dropped. I can't hang with Teresa. My money.
Whoa,
my
whoa, whoa!
pocket's
Don't say
not
that
long.
too loud. I got people in the background. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Well,
That's not true.
should I let Elise in?
Teresa.
I guess I will.
Mhm.
There
I
she
could
is.
not hang with Teresa. Teresa, woo, she shopped till she dropped.
Girl,
Literally.
my kids won't shop with me anymore. They said that when they were younger, I took them too many places. So they won't shop with me anymore. They will not come. So that's all right. I'm good with that. Then I don't have to spend money on them, just on me.
There you go.
We was gonna cancel the meeting. Hey, Mayor. Hey, everybody.
Hey, who is that?
Hello, hello.
That's the fashion.
We got a new board member,
We got a star.
And you know this man.
huh?
Yeah.
Look at you there. You're looking like Hollywood.
Uh-oh.
You.
Hey, Chief. You the mute.
I gotta go get my glasses.
Good
I'll be
evening.
right back.
How you doing, Chief? Hey, Regina.
Doing great, thank you.
Good. Well, I don't see that handsome face. I just see your badge and your whatever that is. Police stuff. Okay. There you go. Are you in the office or at home?
Oh, I'm at home.
Oh, okay.
That's why I put the gray background on so no one knows wherever I am. Yeah.
Very good. Regina, unmute yourself.
I don't
Hey,
see
you guys.
Regina,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
All righty.
All right,
Hello.
it's
I
7.
don't see Regina.
You don't see her? I
You
do.
don't see me?
There she
Now I
is.
see you. I see you now. All righty. What we got? Now I done lost some other folk now.
Everybody.
Mayor, did the notice go out to the residents? I know Faye Davis, I saw her earlier at the machinist hall, and she was concerned that a notice didn't go out, or she was confused, I think, or not really confused, but wasn't sure if the meetings were going to be in person or on Zoom. I told her it was Zoom, and I think she might have reached out to you,
She did.
or
I
she
like
reached out to
that.
So what
somebody.
we do? Let me tell them how we do that. We put it on
I put it on the website
There you go, and hang it on the door.
and on our door.
Those are the ways that we get it out to the rest.
No problem at all. I'm happy to be in service.
You said the website and
It's on the front
putting
door.
it on the front door.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I told her. It was on the website.
Mhm.
We went to the website and because she was asking me and that she was having me look it up at the same time. And so is it a link on the website?
It is,
Well,
or
they
you can just copy it and paste it in there and go in. Not difficult. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Trust me.
Okay, I don't see, do we have a quorum? Because I don't see. All I can see is,
I see Reverend Chapman. Well, I don't see her, but she's here.
I don't see her.
I see.
I mean, who is McFarland? I mean,
That's Susie.
oh, that's Susie.
It's
Okay.
me.
Okay, I've got Alderman Thomas, I've got Alderman Smith, Alderman Hester, Alderman Harmon Ward, Alderman Dale,
Present.
and Alderman Smith.
I'm here.
So we've got a quorum. Alderman Chapman's here too. I don't know. I asked her to unmute.
Okay, so we have a quorum.
Yes, sir.
Who, I missed it. Who's on again?
Chapman's on,
Mhm,
Hester's on, Dale,
mhm,
Harmon Ward,
mhm.
Smith, and Alderman Thomas.
All righty. So, Peg called me and said she may make it and she may not. She had to go to the doctor, somebody. And Lynette was having some issues as well. So those two may or may not be here, but anyway, if they're not here, then they're excused. So I'm calling the meeting to order. I still can't see everybody.
And this is our pre-meeting, Mayor.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
You're absolutely right. All right. And anything we want to discuss in the pre-meeting?
You know, I try to come up with something all the time to discuss, but
You don't really have to.
She wouldn't be Alicia if you didn't.
Right. Okay. I'm always trying to learn something new.
Where did Alderman? Okay, she's there. I just don't see her. Oh, there you are. Hi, Reverend Chapman. I can't. Okay. Well,
Hello,
everybody.
everyone. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How y'all?
Hey,
Hello.
Is the floor, Alicia, were you gonna, did you have something?
Y'all know I was gonna find something. So
Me and you both.
I know we're on Zoom, but Mayor,
Yes.
is it a requirement for the department heads to attend our meetings?
Only if we request them, we request them to be there, to be at our meeting every, once a month at least.
Okay. So I'll hold my question then, because I had questions for the collector.
Okay.
Well, that's the same questions I had if they're about the liquor license.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I was asking Alicia, did you have questions about the liquor license?
It was the liquor license, as well as some of the questions are repetitive that I've asked several times. He provided a report, but it seems like the only thing he ever collects on is the liquor licenses. So I won't lie. I'm so lost and confused on what he does or what his job duties are. My question is, maybe he can explain to me what his job duties are, but when I ask, it's off. So I thought I'd ask one more time.
Well, I had questions about the liquor license. Number one, we just got one, I think like at 4 something or whatever. Each one is required to have a $2,000 bond. And I shouldn't say we, for me, I haven't had time to verify if these insurances are
Valid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was my concern.
Yeah,
Thank
I don't
you.
feel comfortable voting on. We haven't had time to do due diligence. We just got all this stuff. And I looked at that the liquor license applications went out November 19th. So they've had adequate time to get to us. I don't know why we are just getting them, but I was concerned that for me to make a informed decision and feel comfortable about it is to have vetted these applications.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Alderman Thomas has his hand up. Go ahead,
I would defer to the collector as far as the vetting, because he's the one that took the information in. And if there's a question concerning the insurance being valid, then that would be a question for him and for him to check it out. I wouldn't be checking on insurance to make sure it was valid.
That's why I said for me, I would, and you're correct. It is his responsibility, but for me, I'm gonna check too.
Yeah.
Because that's part of the questions I had.
Well, I'm right
Uh,
along with Alderwoman Tappan, only because if this man does not know his own job duties, do you really think he's gonna go and collect, go check to see if someone's insurance is valid? I really don't think so. That's
Yeah, I
just my
think he would.
personal
I
opinion.
think he would. I
Outside of
think he
that,
would. But again, we're discussing or trying to answer questions that can be answered by one individual. We can't answer those questions.
well, outside of that, my is an ordinance question, and more seasoned elected officials can assist me. I thought the ordinance reads, and I'm paraphrasing somehow, some way, where a license can be issued by so many feet from a school or a church. Am I incorrect?
No, you're correct.
Okay, so how are we issuing a liquor license to a church?
because they dispense liquor.
That's not answering my question. I don't mean no harm.
But that
If you're
no,
dispensing to a church, but you can't have a
right,
liquor license because you're so many feet away from a church, which ones
right.
makes more sense to me?
And how many churches have liquor license?
That's a good question too.
Because all of our Holy Name of Jesus and all of the Catholic churches, even Knights of Columbus, if you want to consider that a church,
I wouldn't know.
I think the whole issue, and you bring up a valid point, Alderwoman Smith, because if we had have gotten along in the process of the two ordinances that I presented, there were two more. And that exact thing was another piece of that, because we have to change our verbiage.
Yes.
We have to change our verbiage, because you're absolutely right. If we're going to have one ordinance that states you can't have within a certain feet, but allow others to carry, we have to make that differentiation and make it clear. But that was the other part of the ordinance, but it was recommended by our legal counsel that I started with the two that I started with, and that's why I started with those two. So I'm right along with you because we have to make it explicit what our ordinance are and change the verbiage to make it applicable to conditions, like we do conditional permits on other things. We need to have some verbiage that does the same thing with our liquor license.
Then I do have a question for Chief Eiler. So when these records are ran on the business, or is it ran on the individual person? So what if a business itself has an infraction? What I see is just the person. The person may have a clean record, but what about their business?
I want to say no, but that clarification should come from the collector. The managing party of the business has to undergo a background check. Yes. But the business, if I had to answer right now, I'm 99% sure the business does not.
Alderwoman
The Missouri statute says that the applicant should be a person of good moral character. And this is a minimal check that we can do to see if a person who is applying is of good moral character. And I think that was a decision that was made a long time ago, was that we could do these background checks to satisfy that requirement.
So are they ever run on the actual business itself? It's just ran on the person?
It's on the person. We have not required that, and I don't believe the state requires it either. No state requirement for that.
Yeah, I'll find that out.
Can I go now, Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, for Dinah and for Alicia, the liquor license that are before us is probably two of our biggest businesses. And if it pleases the board, if we can go ahead and approve the businesses, because at any time, if things are out of order or not based on what the paperwork says, we can revoke that on that information. But we don't want to hold up one of our two of our biggest businesses in the city that is bringing revenue in, because we don't come back in until the 4th of January. If, if I can ask the board to consider that. The other thing is, many of the for the answer for Alicia, many of the businesses, Holy Name of Jesus and the other places, they have had their licenses for years. And even though the state may have indicated that, the city and the board can still authorize them to have like a conditional use permit. And that's basically what the Holy Name of Jesus does in Columbus Nights. When they have events, they want to serve and sell liquor. It's not a continuing thing. It's just when they have events. So that's something that I'd ask that you consider.
So I thank you for that response, but I'm gonna be honest, I would not know how much revenue they bring to the city. But considering it is a religious platform, I mean, my question was that was part of the question is, are they selling liquor? And then if it's a church, I'm under the assumption they have children there. So with that being said, I mean, you mentioned, and I hear that a lot, is it's always been this way. Just because it's been that way doesn't make it right. So yes, I'm gonna question it.
Okay. I'm not sure that they have children there. However, go ahead. I'm sorry, Mary.
Alderman Thomas has his hand up, and then.
Oh, sorry.
I guess my question is to the chief. Chief, if there's an infraction against, if the state alcohol commission comes in and cites a business for an infraction, do you receive information?
No, I don't receive information unless I inquire. That can be made part of the requirements for getting a liquor license in the future. Basically, inquiry with the ATC to determine if there had been any infractions within the last year or during the last period or since their business had opened, to see if they have any violations, which I think would be another integrity check for them.
Right. And who enforces those infractions, say if they're selling to minors?
Local police can enforce them. Alcohol.
No, I'm saying if alcohol, tobacco do a sting and they find out that it's that they've been selling to.
Yes, they will do a sting.
And then they find out that they did in fact sell to them, then they would impose that infraction on them, and they could I guess then we would receive information because they would have their license revoked by the state.
Correct. So if their license, and we haven't had that happen yet, but if their license is revoked at the state level, the county and the municipality, if they're in a municipality, would be notified that their state license is no longer valid, meaning it would dissolve any other licenses below it.
That's all I have, man.
Woman Chapman.
Yes, I want to clarify. Thank you, Alderwoman Smith and Alderwoman Dales, for your plea. Mine is totally for information, and I think that we have to make a conscious decision. If we're trying to rectify things in our ordinances that aren't correct, or make the things that are clear and not ambiguous correct, that we shouldn't pick and choose which ones. So my conversation is going back to, thanks Chief for that information. One of the reasons I was trying to clarify and reintroduce some type of ordinance that would hold those entities accountable and to push a level of compliance. The questions that you have, Alderwoman Smith, is very valid. But again, I want to caution us of doing the same thing, saying that's how it's been, but we're trying to correct some things. We're not trying to prohibit, we're trying to correct and reset things that, like we're doing with everything else. And so for me, it's not to prohibit those who have it, other than those who are becoming nuisance, but to correct our verbiage and set things in place going forward that would hold these entities to being in compliance.
Alderwoman Dales.
I totally agree with you, Alderwoman Chapman and Alderwoman Alicia. However, I just, we have to take the vote for these 3 businesses or 4 businesses, as he has just sent one, that it may take us a couple of months to get our verbiage together and our ordinance together. And I hope that we don't hold up some of our businesses because we're working on some things. And I totally agree with you. I just hope that we can go ahead and get past these 3 licenses that are put before us. And if in the event that something is not correct or accurate, we have the board and the city has the right to make the corrections, and the license can be revoked to a certain degree.
And
So I totally agree with you. I do. I totally
agree with you. I said, I'm not here to prohibit. We're having a discussion about what we should do, get our questions answered so there can be no ambiguity. It'll be clear. I'm not here to prohibit, but to hold accountable and get proper information so we can start putting these ordinances in order and then add the necessary verbiage to pull them into line and hold them into accountability. I'm not trying to prohibit, just trying to.
So can we agree from this point on that either you and Alicia go back to the ordinance that we had and make sure that everything is correct, so we can in the next couple of months bring it back before the board, so we won't be doing this next November, October?
Well, I've been working on that. Remember, I sent that out to you all to look at. Those were 2 of 3 that I wanted the board to look at and consider. And all these things we're discussing tonight is in one of those, and the total of 3 that I want the board to consider. So we're still working on it. And I said I would wait until the board was ready.
Oh,
If I can just make a suggestion, an updated ordinance concerning gaming machines under the liquor law would probably be a good idea, since the St. Louis County Prosecutor's Office will not issue a warrant to seize those illegal gaming machines. If you add in the ordinance that as a prohibited act inside the business, that would help get those machines out of some of those businesses that sell alcohol.
That's one of the ordinances that I've been talking to. Like I said, there's 4 of them concerning all of that. I've been talking to our legal counsel about. So thank you, Chief, for supporting that.
Absolutely.
We're working on it.
Can I ask a question for those who may have already had their questions answered? Can y'all raise your hand down? That way I don't step on someone's toes. I'm trying to let everybody go before I ask another question.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, Alicia has her hand up. Chief has his hand up. I don't know if it's just that they didn't take it down when they spoke or what.
I do have another question, Mayor, but I can go after Alicia and Chief.
Okay, then.
So my next question is, I'm reading the paperwork for Quick Trip, and I agree, Alderwoman Dales. They are a big person or a big business in our community. It says license not transferable. On their license, underneath the expiration date, it says special permits. EMP normally stands for employees, and then it says dash minors. What does that mean? Is that something Jeff, the collector, can answer?
I'll have to take a look at that. I'm not aware of that designation on there.
Yeah, it
You're
says
saying-
EMP, meaning, I'm assuming this means employees, and then it has a dash minors. I wouldn't think a minor would even be a part of a liquor license. It looks like, if I can you, no, you can't see my page. But it's on there where the expiration date is.
I think that would have, I don't think it's a state restriction. I think it would have to be a community restriction. If we said that nobody was able to handle liquor in a packaged liquor store.
It doesn't say
Unless they-
restrictions, it says special permits. So this will be a permit that's being issued. So I'm lost on that.
Point of order, is he pictured? Because I don't see his photo.
Jeff,
I'm here.
He's not pictured, but he's here.
Hold on.
Okay.
the other question I have is their insurance with travelers. It says their current billing term is from December 29th. We're not in 2022. So do they have insurance or do they not have insurance? And did they just purchase this insurance? But then underneath it, it says the date of December 29th, 2012. So when did they purchase their insurance? Was it 2012 or 2022? So these are the questions Alderman Thomas is asked to why I'm asking in regards to insurance verification. Is the dates are not even right on this paperwork.
Alderman Thomas.
I think she was asking the collector, did verify the insurances were correct.
Right. I was told to ask the collector. So my question to the collector would be, have you verified their insurance?
Up the rate bubble, and all you have to do is spread this in, take it off the.
The bond is the only insurance that we asked them to provide us with.
Okay, so this insurance with travelers, I'm assuming would be their bonded insurance. I wouldn't know because I don't collect on their insurance, but considering this is the only insurance that was provided, I guess that would be my question is, has it been verified? And if it's been verified, then how did you not catch the dates or wrong?
Looks like 2022 to me. First date of November 2022.
It says December 29th of 2022. We are only on December 15th. Today's the 15th. So did they just purchase this insurance and it will in effect December 29th? Or did they have the insurance in 2012 and the date of 2022?
29.
What is it? I'm sorry.
Alicia, it says 2012.
Right, underneath it, it says this is to certify that the above referenced bond is issued December 29th of 2012 and it the amount of $2,000 and it's signed September the 20th of 20. If you read it above, it says current billing term from December 29th of 2022 to December 29th of 2023. That's
Okay.
whole year.
Okay, so
So did the insurance lapse and they just repurchased it?
on some of my insurances, if my insurance expires in October, it's gonna say October of 22 to October of 23. So their insurance is probably in effect right now, and it renews the 29th of December of every year to the following year when they pay that fee.
Right, and the bill should say December 29th of 2021. Again, the dates are wrong. So even with the explanation that you're providing, then those bill terms should, if they have it and it's concurrent, then they would have two. You would have your what's current, meaning you'll know I have insurance, and then you'll know my insurance still carries. So the paperwork that's provided does not tell me what's current. This tells me what they're getting ready to purchase or already have purchased. And if they have already purchased it, then where's the receipt? I don't see that either. So how do I know this isn't just a quote? The date hasn't even come up. It says December 29th of 2022. Today's the 15th. There's no way possible.
It says billing term.
Right.
If you understand. Jeff, if you got something in your background, you may want to turn it off. I don't know who that is, but it says the term, just like on your homeowner's insurance. If your homeowner's insurance goes from July 1 to June 30th, that's the term of your policy.
Right. I got
That's
that.
what I'm taking it as.
If the term of my policy is current, it would not show me a future date. So my question then will be, where is the paperwork that shows me what's valid now? Because I wouldn't get paperwork for my next term if I haven't paid for it. I don't know how your insurance works, but even with my vehicle insurance, I don't get anything until I pay for it. Outside of that, my question was, has this insurance been reviewed, and has it been validated with the insurance company? Do you know if it's valid or not?
I don't know if insurance companies that are valid.
So you have not contacted the insurance company? That's a yes or no or maybe so?
So no, I have not contacted the insurance company.
I can tell you guys it's 7:30 now.
Oh, sorry, Mayor. Thank you.
All right. It's 7:30. So I'll call the meeting to order, the regular board meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll for a quorum, please?
Sir.
No, I'm sorry. Let's strike that.
Yep, I know.
Call the meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance. Anybody got a flag? I don't have a flag. So we'll omit that since, and I can't see everybody. Now we'll do roll call.
Alderman Chapman.
Present.
Alderman Hester.
Here.
Alderman Warnes.
Excuse.
Alderman Von Sturgeon.
Excuse.
Alderman Thomas.
He's on here somewhere. I got to work on my screen.
Simi, he just stepped away for a minute. Maybe can you come back after you? Okay.
Alderman Harmon Ward.
Present.
Alderman Dales.
Present.
Alderman Smith.
Present.
Alderman Thomas.
Well, he was on a second ago.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
All right. Approval of the agenda.
Can I have my hand up?
I don't see it. What? Whose hand is that?
Mine.
All right. Who has a hand up?
I have my hand up to approve the agenda.
Oh, well, just go ahead on and say it then.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda with amendments.
Well, with what amendment?
Oh, okay. I would like to table item number C for bill number 26 so I can get more information on it, because this is my first time voting on it, and I need to get a little bit more information, what it means and when did it come about. And also to add the vote for North County Fire District to waive the fees for the building.
As far as the redistricting, the boundaries, Well, I can say to you, I mean, we can pull that off. It really doesn't matter. But the wards will not change because the numbers were low. But we do have to visit that to make sure of that. And we did. I had the attorneys to look at it, and so the wards won't change. We can vote on that ordinance, but the wards still won't change.
I understand that. I've just never, I mean, I when I saw it on the agenda, I just want to understand it. I mean, I know that we can't change what the federal government says. I know we can't. I just want to understand it for myself. And I just want to table it to the first meeting in January.
Council.
And then I also want to, I want the board to make a decision, to vote yes or no, to waive the fees for North County Fire Protection.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's do, I hear you, it's well taken. But Council, will you share with the boundaries, ward boundaries? Just share some information on that. And if you want to vote on it, it's fine. If you don't, that's fine. It's your decision. But if you want information, we're trying to give it to you.
Well, Mayor, can we have a point of order because we have a motion on the floor? So can we have a point of order and follow the proper motion first? Because we have a motion on the floor.
Well, you had a motion on the floor by all person who is asking for this information.
No, I'm not asking for the information now. I'm asking that it be tabled until the first meeting in January so I can do my research. I'm just waiting for a second.
Is this time sensitive, Council?
It is time sensitive with respect to a requirement that any changes that should be made to the boundaries have to be submitted by a certain date in January. And I believe that date is January 24th. Now, what the ordinance provides, and we did look at it, it indicates that there were population changes in the wards making up the city. When we looked at it and consulted with some people at the Board of Elections, we were helped to understand that when there's a change in ward populations, you look at that change to determine if there's what's called a 10% difference. When you take the total population and divide it by the wards, in this case 4 wards, you get a number that's identified as a means number. Then what a city, and this is what we did in the case of Bellefontaine Neighbors, you can look at the ward that has the highest number of residents, subtract that mean number from it, and if the result is less than 10%, that indicates that the change in the ward is not so big as to cause a city to consider looking at changing the boundaries. The overall general idea behind this is that wards should be set up and divided up so that they're fairly even, and that results in people being able to vote in a fair way, one person, one vote. So that's what is really behind this for the cities. According to this 10% test that we indicated could be applied. When we did those measures where we subtracted that mean number from the number or from the ward that had the highest number of residents, and we subtracted the number from that mean number from the ward that had the lowest number, we found in both instances the variation did not exceed 10% of the total population. And I'm trying to avoid being complicated, and then I'm trying to indicate that those seem to be legal parameters that are particularly followed and typically followed when it comes to determining whether or not changes in the wards are such that a city should adjust its boundaries.
So we don't find that the changes here is enough to affect the boundaries. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Applying that particular test, there was no change. And I can let you know one of the things that I identified, and I think it would be of interest to you. In 2010, which was the last time the census occurred, in Ward 1, the population was 2,694. In 2020, the population is 2,692. That meant that Ward 1 lost a total of 2 residents. And if you want me to continue this breakdown, I can give it to you.
You're fine. I think we got it. Don't we have it? All right. So, Alderwoman Dales, you can go back to your original questions. I'm fine. I just wanted you to know that, but you can proceed.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to approve the agenda with an amendment, and that is to remove item number C, bill number 2621, to table that into the first meeting in January for myself and any other board members who would like to do their own research and their own learning. I do understand what I read. However, I would like to have more time to understand it, to research it myself, and also to add to the agenda to take a vote from the Board of Aldermen if we can waive the fees for the North County Fire District, to waive the fees for the building of 870 chambers. And I would like to add that to the agenda, and I'm asking for a second, please.
Is there a second?
I second, Mayor.
All righty. It's been moved and properly second to amend the agenda according to the Alderwoman. Are there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed?
Aye.
No, nay.
Okay, let's do a roll call.
Alderman Chapman?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what was that? I
Yes.
didn't hear it. Yes. Okay.
Alderman Hester?
Yes.
Alderman Thomas?
No,
Alderman Harmon Ward?
No.
Alderman Dales?
Yes.
Alderman Smith?
Yes.
Mayor, we have 4 yes, 2 no's.
All right, then the agenda is amended accordingly. Now, is that motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I would like to make a motion I'm sorry. I would like to make a motion to approve the agenda as amended, and that is removing Item number C, Bill 2611, to be tabled into the first meeting of January of 2023, and add to the agenda a vote to waive the building fees, the permit fees for the North County Fire District of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Bellefonte Neighbors.
Alderwoman,
I second.
second.
Who-
All
who
right.
second? I'm sorry, who second, Mayor?
Chapman, I see your hand. Okay. Okay, it's been moved and proper second that we would approve the agenda as amended. Do another roll call vote.
Okay. Alderman Chapman,
Yes.
Alderman Hester,
Yes.
Alderman Thomas,
Yes.
Alderman Harmon Ward,
Yes.
Alderman Dales,
Yes.
Alderman Smith,
Yes.
all right, Mayor, we have, it's 6 yes, motion passed.
Okay. All right, so the agenda has been amended. Let's move down to meeting open to the public. And just as we meeting open to the public, and I really can't see anybody, so whoever's on, just start talking, I guess.
Yeah.
Is there anyone who wishes to speak from the public?
Mayor, this is Wanda Lane.
Mm-hmm.
May I make a report?
Go right ahead, I hear you.
May I make a brief report from the school district?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I thank everybody who came out. I thank everyone who came out on Tuesday, the 13th, in rain and cold. Approximately 140 people were in attendance. Approximately 15 to 20 of them were parents. We've got to do better in getting our parents engaged. There are some sobering statistics that I'm going to share very briefly regarding one of the issues of school accreditation, full accreditation. Attendance is a very important part of that process. And the way DESE, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education is what it stands for. The way they do it, they assign numbers, quote, points. And attendance is a very big part of that. If 90% of our students are in school 90% of the time, we will receive 100, we'll see the maximum points. As of right now, for the year 2020 to 2021, 34% of our students are in school 90% of the time. That's a pretty sobering number. So as you can see, we are not going to meet that criteria. The one that's most disturbing to me was kindergarten, first and second grade, where only 38% of our students are in school 90% of the time. That needs to be corrected. The second disturbing statistic involves suspensions. Since August of 23rd this year, there have been 1,634 suspensions. The town hall was designed to speak about bullying, safe schools, and positive environments. We have these many people who have been suspended when only 34% of our students are in school 90% of the time. So heaven forbid if we got more than that who are in school 90% of the time, what the suspension rate would be. Parents, and I really hope parents are listening. Alderwoman Harmon Ward made an impassionate plea to please be a parent and responsible for your children. If not, the streets will be the ones who are going to raise them. One bright point is I received a number of comments regarding social media and telephones in school, cell phones. So there was a plan to discuss something that we're working on, but time just got away. There has been a trial in some districts in our county with a product called a Yonder bag, Yonder, Y-O-N-D-E-R. You know what that is, Alderwoman Tatman? Are you familiar with that? Okay, so right now it's being trialed in Jennings and Normandy. They were doing pretty good with it until we had that shooting at the school over on the south side, where they decided to suspend their trial. But we're going to trial that in our middle and our high school. When Jennings and Normandy was trialing it, they are reporting a significant decrease in the numbers of fights and disturbances. So if anyone has any specific questions and want to talk to me about some of this information or anything else, you can always reach me. And we can talk publicly or privately, whatever way. Just we need to come up with some solutions. I'd like to thank Officer Major Willis, who was present representing Bellefonte Neighbors Law Enforcement. And we really appreciate his support. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Anyone else? All right, let me share this information with you that was sent to me by one of our residents in regards to the COVID testing. You can get those home kits. And if you write down this address where you can order it from, which is covidtests.gov, covidtests.gov. You can order your home test through that. Anyone else from the public? Not, we will turn it back over to the board.
Mayor, I would like to
Yes.
say something. This is Terry Case. I
Okay.
had the pleasure of attending the senior luncheon this afternoon with a couple of neighbors. And I would like to give a shout out to the Parks Department for coordinating such a delicious luncheon. It was very nice and great to meet fellow seniors. Thank you.
All right. Were you there as a senior? How was you there? You crashed the senior party?
No, I am a senior. I am.
You're a senior? I didn't know you was a senior. Okay. All right. Anybody else?
Okay.
All right, we'll go back to the board. At this time, we will do a presentation of unapproved minutes. The motion. Alderwoman Tatman.
Yes, Mayor, I would like to make a motion that we approve the unapproved minutes, BO regular meeting minutes for 12/1/22.
Is there a second?
I
Alderwoman
second.
Dales. Alderwoman Dales got a hand up.
I second.
Okay. Moved and properly second. Are there any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposes nay.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Approval of invoices over 500.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the invoices that are over 500.
Is there a second?
I second.
Moved and properly seconded. Are there any questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. As have it. City collectors report.
Good evening, Alderman, thank you. We have 6 liquor licenses to approve, and a couple of them came in kind of late today. I hope that you all had a chance to receive them. They should be complete, except for the last 2. They're missing, each of those is missing one piece of information, but it's probably commonly available, so not that we normally have to hunt for, but I'd like to entertain questions about individual applications.
Alderwoman Dales. Alderwoman Dales, you're muted.
Okay, in front of me, I only have 3. And then we received one from Simi today before close of business today. Therefore, I can only deal with the ones that I have in front of me.
Okay,
And those,
which
let me finish. And those, that would be Quick Trip Corporation. Because I want to be very specific about the ones that I'm in favor of that are in front of me today. Holy Name of Jesus. Holy Name of Jesus Church.
Yes,
okay,
and Knights of Columbus, all the ones.
Knights of Columbus. And the one that we received today before 5, Dinah, do you have it? And can you pull it up for me?
Yeah, I have that one.
Oh, we have the other one that we have KD Patrol. We have that in front of us.
Yeah, those are
right,
the
good.
ones.
And it was one more that Simi sent before close of business today.
And that one is Arch 94 LLC, which is the Conoco station at Chambers and Bell Fountain.
Dinah, I don't have the information in front of me, so can any other person let me know if that paperwork is in order? Because I do not have, I cannot pull it up, but I mean, I would take my colleague's word. If you have everything in order that you need for the one that was sent before close of business today.
Well, like you state, even the ones we have. So we have Quick Trip, we have Holy Names, Knights of Columbus,
And KD Patrol.
and KD Patrol. That is the only ones.
Okay.
And I still, well, we'll get to that because he's doing this report. Yes, we do have questions. I think my colleague, Alderwoman Smith, made a very precise concern about the insurances. Again, we're not here to prohibit. We're just trying to make people be in compliance. We can't keep skipping over people not being in compliance, especially if they have the ordinances that were sent to them and they've had these licenses for this long. They should know what the requirements are.
Right, and the bonds that we require are normally going to be an addendum to whatever the main insurance policy is that they have. And I'm sure that we're not the only ones asking for a bond from time to time, but that's what those are about, and that's why there could be different dates on there. The master insurance policy could have different dates than the bond that we requested. But the dates that I see on the bond that we requested, unless they made a error on the starting date on the one document, I think the documents are going to cover the year that we're talking about.
Thank you, Collector. However, what we need, because we're not here to prohibit, we're trying to bring them in compliance. We need all proper paperwork. So we are going to, let I'm not speaking for everybody else. I'm just gonna approve the ones I have in front of me with
Okay.
conditions that the insurances are verified, number one, and the policies are in place. That's the conditions. That's just for me. And I think as our collector and our representative for the city, that you help us to make sure that all the applicable paperwork is in order. Because we depend on you to check to make sure they're in compliance, but for us, on behalf of the citizens, we have to also do our due diligence. So this is a partnership. They've had these licenses forever. Most of them have all of the applicable paperwork, some don't. So would you please?
I can verify the insurance. I mean, I don't think you're gonna try to pass documents to us that are not valid, but I will call those companies and make sure that they have policies.
Alderman Thomas, that's hands up.
Yes, hello, collector. I was just gonna reiterate that I would be willing to vote on all of the liquor license that you're presenting tonight, contingent on you verifying that they have all of their necessary paperwork. Now last year I remember that we had some that did not have their paperwork in order. You fulfilled that task. You presented again and said that they had all of their paperwork in order and their licenses were issued upon that verification. Because I don't think that we should hold a business, because now if we don't give them their liquor license and the 31st comes and they sell liquor, then they're going to be in violation of our ordinance and probably some state law. So if you can help us see that that is done, then I would be in support of fulfilling the obligation of the city to issue the liquor license by December 31st.
We'll take care of that. I should let you know that almost all these businesses, and I can't think of one that wouldn't, have a county liquor license for whatever reason, and they also have a Missouri liquor license. So if, for example, the State Highway Patrol was to come through there and wanted to see their license, they'd probably look at their Missouri license and assume that they were in compliance.
Alderman Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. So I'm pulling up the liquor license that was sent at the close of business today. It was actually 4 something in the afternoon by Simi, the city clerk, for Aldi's. When you state collector in regards to making sure that they have their insurance, the insurance wasn't issued for Aldi's. They do have an addendum and they do have the back page of Travelers, but there's no front page for Travelers. So I wouldn't know what type of insurance they have, only because it's not there. They do have an affidavit of an application, and that's all that's issued. So for me, I'm right along with Alderwoman Tatman. I'm not trying to not vote on, the businesses not having their license. However, all of the correct information has not been presented. So for me, I would need everything to be valid in order for it to be valid. They don't have proper insurance at all. They didn't present any, this doesn't have any insurance at all.
Which one is that?
This is for Aldi's. So Aldi's provided an affidavit, and again, they provided their back page to Travelers, but there's no front page at all. So it doesn't provide, like, when their insurance takes effect. It doesn't have anything. It doesn't even say that. It just says the principal is for Aldi's, and that's it.
Let me take a look at that, because they actually sent other pages over. I just didn't include it with the packet to you.
Yeah. And they provided their application, of course, but that was it. That's all that I received by email.
They should have had, let me see here. most of the time, these bonds, with the addendum can be completed with a one-page statement that shows that they have coverage. I mean, we're asking them to provide additional coverage to their normal coverage.
So is there a possible way, Mayor, or in the rest of the board and citizens, I'm not sure, instead of just voting on these, can we have a special meeting once all of the paperwork has been presented and we can review it and he's had a chance, the city collector has had a chance to verify it? Personally, I'm not comfortable voting on something that I don't have all the information for.
Alderwoman Hester.
Been listening, and I definitely appreciate all the information that's been put out there as far as the businesses and the wanting the liquor license. It sounds like renewals. But I would have to agree with Alderwoman Smith on there's not enough information provided to consciously vote yes on renewing the liquor license. I also think that it is possible to have a special meeting in order to get the liquor license approved within the timely manner, because it sounds like it's a time restraint on it. We don't want these businesses to have no liquor license and be operating like Alderman Thomas said, in violation of ordinances and state laws. So city collector, if you could tell us if there's a time crunch or a time limit or whatever it is out there where you can get the information that you need to receive from the liquor license so that we can consciously make a decision that we're all comfortable with making and moving forward so we can do it.
Well, I would like them all to be able to have valid licenses on January 1st. So if a special meeting is what it takes to get there, then I would suggest that whoever has the ability to request that and bring it together, then we can certainly do that. 7 days should be enough. Really, I guess I'm going to have to highlight the places in these documents where it shows that their documentation is current. And that'll make it easier for us to agree that everything is in line here. The travelers, I mean, it definitely spells out the bond number, although it doesn't really give a date on there.
Do you have like I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. Do you have like a check off list of items when you are
It's a part of
seeking
the
information? It's on the application?
Right on the front of the application. It tells them right
Okay.
up front, it says must include a copy of your current Missouri state liquor license, a St. Louis County police background check, and a $2,000 bond. The details on the $2,000 bond are on page 2 and 3.
So one last question for you, City Collector. Do you have a checkoff list of your own? Like when you receive that information, the things that like you need to do in order to make sure the stuff that you're receiving is accurate? Because you're requesting this information, but we also want to make sure that they're being, upfront and honest. We would like to take people's word for it, of course, but we also want to make sure that we do our due diligence and make sure that those things that they've sent us are correct.
Alderwoman Dales. You're muted.
That was a real quick. That was a quick. Were you answering? I think.
It's not like the hang up is in the dates. So before we get back together, I will verify all the dates on these documents that they sent to us.
It's not just the dates, we're missing some pieces as well. So
Okay, like
for
what?
me, I can't consider all these at all. They haven't even provided bonding insurance at all.
I just looked at it.
They provided the back page. There's no front page. So maybe we just didn't receive it then, but I didn't receive it. Anyone else? I didn't get it. Alderwoman Patton is saying no, she didn't receive it either. So we have the
Okay.
back page, but not the front page.
Those are some things.
So
that we
I
need
think
to
that's what
correct.
Alderwoman Hester is basically saying is if you had a checklist, then you can collect those documents from every business. So therefore, we're not missing anything.
Okay, Alderwoman Dales.
I would like to ask my colleagues.
Alderwoman Dales.
I would like to ask my colleagues, is it okay if I make the motion that we approve Quick Trip, Holy Name of Jesus Church, Santa Cruz Knights of Columbus, and Katy Patrol, if in the event these other businesses do not have the proper paperwork, and in the event that Lori is unavailable to do this job, because that is who's been doing this job. So we have ones that are in front of us that have completed their paperwork. And I would like to know if it's okay if I make the motion to get the ones that have filled out their paperwork. And in the event, if something happens where she's unable to fulfill this job because she has other things that she's got to do for the auditors, and she's not able to fulfill this job by the end of the 31st, I don't want to hold up the ones that have already got their paperwork done. So can I make the motion?
You've heard the motion. Is there a second? Is there a second to the motion? If you're saying something, you're muted. Because I don't hear anything. All right, motion dies for the lack of a second. All right, let's move on. City engineer. Clayton Klein.
Sorry about that.
Mayor had a question.
What? Okay, I didn't see your hand.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't raise my hand. The motion was made to, and it wasn't to table, it was to vote on the ones that we have in front of us. And I'm just asking for clarification. So nobody will have a liquor license on December the 31st.
No, what we were trying to say is
No,
we would have a special meeting before December 31st, so they can have.
But that wasn't included as a determination of what just happened.
What I said is what
Right.
I'm asking the board is, can we please approve the ones that are in front of us today, which is Quick Trip, Holy Name of Jesus Church, Santa Cruz Knights of Columbus, Katy Patrol, because they have completed their paperwork and they have put it in front of us.
You made the motion.
Yes, that is the motion.
Is there a second to the motion?
I second.
Alderwoman Ward, your hands up.
Yes. I was trying to second, but I was muted.
Oh, okay. So it's been motion and second that we would approve the licenses that are before us tonight. Are there any further discussion? Hearing none.
I'm sorry, I keep forgetting to raise my hand.
Okay. Go ahead.
And I would like to amend the motion to say that upon verification by the collector, that he notify the mayor and that someone call a special meeting so that the rest of the licenses can be issued by December the 31st.
Is that in the form of a motion amendment?
Yeah.
Amendment to the motion? Is there a second amendment to the motion?
Wasn't there another amendment to on the floor already or something?
Is there amendment?
Is this adding to it?
There's a motion on the floor.
It was
A motion
that we hadn't voted on, and then the motion was made to re-motion the motion. We
Okay.
hadn't voted on
Right.
Alderwoman
No.
Dale's motion the
No.
second time. Alder,
Just a moment.
go ahead.
Alderwoman Dales put a motion on the floor to approve the license that are before us.
Right.
And what else was that motion? Restate your motion, Alderwoman Dale.
I would like to make a motion to approve Quick Trip, Holy Name of Jesus Church, Santa Cruz Knights of Columbus, and KD Patrol. We have the paperwork in front of us.
All right, now who seconded that?
I did.
Regina.
All right, so it was moved and properly second, so there is no amendment to the motion because it's voting time now.
Right.
All in, it's up to you. Y'all want a roll call or?
Roll call.
Just the nay?
Roll call.
Alderman Tatman,
Yes.
Alderman Hester,
Yes.
Alderman Thomas,
Yes.
Alderman Harmon Ward,
Yes.
Alderman Dales,
Yes.
Alderman Smith,
I abstain.
okay. We have 5 yes and 1 abstain, Mayor.
All right, motion carries.
Alderman Thomas, are you still putting forth your motion?
I'm raising my hand.
All right, go ahead, Alderman.
Yes, I make a motion that the remaining liquor license that have not been completed or verified be presented to the mayor prior to December the 31st, and that the mayor, at his discretion, call a special meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Are there any further discussion?
Yes.
What's your?
Yes.
Well, yes, because the motion was that it would be at the mayor's discretion, whereas it's the board that needs to vote. So I think
Right.
the verbiage needs to change.
But the mayor may not, but he may not have all the paperwork in order. And the mayor can use his discretion to say, yes, he has all the paperwork and it can go forward. That's why I use the word discretion.
I know, I understand that.
And then the mayor can call for a special meeting.
Well, that's what I
Yeah.
voted yes for, is a special meeting, as we can
Right.
then review the paperwork the mayor received.
Right. Right.
It's
Right.
how the word was used, but you guys know how I am about how you use and where you use a word. But okay, the understanding is at the mayor's discretion to come to the board, not the discretion.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
but it's not how it was used, but that's okay.
I know that
Yeah.
the board will, would actually call a meeting. I understand that. But I would ask them to do that. Yeah. Alderwoman Hester,
Yes.
your hand is up.
Oh,
She
that
voted.
was my
Did you-
question was
Okay,
answered.
well, where are we
It
now?
was answered.
Madam Clerk, where are we? Are we?
We're
I'm
at
sorry.
Clayton Klein now.
We what now?
Are we back to the city engineer?
No, we didn't vote on.
You didn't
No,
vote?
we didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to vote on the motion that Thomas.
That Alderman
It was a
Thomas made.
second. Was there a second?
Second was made by Smith.
Go ahead, Alderwoman Smith. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposes nay.
Aye.
All right, ayes have it.
Okay. All right.
Yes, now we'll get the report from city engineer.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
How's everyone? You have the reports in front of you, both my report and then also the building commissioner's report for permit inspection code enforcement. Couple things just to note that Riverview Gardens is applying to renovate one of their toilets to make it ADA compliant. I'll be looking at that. Shouldn't be any issue. As you know, Judy is going to be winding down. So we've got Shayla, who's part-time, and Brittany, who's full-time. who are trying to glean as much information from Judy as they can, and I think things are starting to work pretty good with that. And I know that Jimmy reported to you last meeting on the roof for the rec center. And we should be getting a schedule. I asked for a schedule from.
You muted. Oh, you muted. Clayton, you're muted.
Clayton, you're muted.
Yeah.
How long have I been muted?
You might need to go back about a sentence.
Okay. I apologize. First of all, you have all the reports. And then basically from that, Riverview Gardens has yesterday applied for permit to renovate one of their bathrooms to make it ADA compliant. I've started looking at that. That shouldn't be any issue. As you know, Judy's going to be retiring. I told her we're not pushing her out, but in the meantime, we've got Jayla, who is part-time, and Brittany, who's full-time, both trying to get as much information learned on the operations there. And I think things are going pretty good with that. I know that Jimmy reported to you last month on the roof replacement at the rec center. And it is looking pretty good. I asked for a schedule from the contractor. He said he should get us that in the next 2 weeks. I also asked for all the other submittals for items that need to be approved by us. But so far, knock on wood, we should be able to have the project enclosed.
Oh,
You on mute?
I don't know what I hit. I'm sorry. I apologize. Something must be hitting you. I've also been trying to work with the Missouri Association of Building Officials and Inspectors to get a job posting for what we need in our department for an inspector. And I'm sorry about I keep hitting the mute button. Did you hear about what I said about the rec center roof?
No.
No. Okay, rec center roof. It was proceeding well. We should be getting a schedule in the next 2 weeks from the contractor, C. Rallo, on how this will all take place. And it'll be coordinated with Jimmy and coordinated to keep people safe and out of the way as the project is going on. So far, some of the major items that have required long lead times, they've been able to get, which is a good sign. So that way we shouldn't have any delays.
Any questions? Thank you so much for your report.
Thank you. Sorry about hitting the mute. I apologize.
I don't know if you were hitting them. Mine keep muting too.
Karma.
Yeah. Planning and zoning. That bad.
Good evening, everybody.
Evening.
In the month of December, there was no new business for planning and zoning to take up. So we did not hold a meeting in December. Nothing to report from our meeting.
All right, thank you.
Do we have a question though? I see under new business, there's a board appointment of a couple of members, consideration for planning and zoning.
That's good.
We don't have any vacancies right now.
How many people on planning and zoning?
Well, 6 citizen members. It's Wanda Lane, myself, Leo Gordon, Matt Borzamowski, John Hadway, and Greg White.
Okay.
Mayor, can I make a comment?
Yes, go ahead.
And it's also not in the budget for an additional members. So we were hoping that those gentlemen might consider starting up the youth commission until something comes available for on the planning and zoning. Alicia?
Let's go back to planning and zoning. What does the ordinance say about how many members should be on that? You said there are 6 members on there now?
6 citizen members, the building official, yourself, and I believe an automatic rep.
Okay,
We've got the 6 citizen members.
okay then. All right, thank you. Chief's report. Chief, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Seems to be a problem with everybody tonight. Start off with, I tested positive for COVID last week. I had never had COVID before. So I can really empathize with the people who have had it and gone through it. It was 10 times worse than any bad flu condition I've ever had. And today was my first day back at work. To continue, I just wanted to go over some crime statistics comparing this November to last November. We saw 0 changes in homicide, rape, and robbery, which was 0, 0, and 3. In terms of assault, we saw a drop in 22% of this year compared to last year. We're up 7 counts of burglary this year versus last year. And we are down vehicle thefts by, we're down vehicle thefts by 8%. I do want to remind people, we are in that season where it is cold. I completely understand that, but people try to debate the issue of starting up your car and warming it up and going back inside your house. And people have kill switches, and my car can only push start. Once the key fobs out of range, it won't work. Well, the reason they come up with this technology that keeps getting better is because people have found a way to defeat it. You'll see a next stage in technology go up for securing cars, but don't give someone a reason to use a shortcut that you don't think that exists. Bellefonte Neighbors has an ordinance that states that you can't run your car unattended in the street. However, we do not have an ordinance that covers on private property, like in the driveway. You will be getting a visit from a police officer to kindly, turn off your vehicle or watch your vehicle while it's warming up, if that would be the case. I'm speaking about coming on the holidays. I put this in the newsletter that went out. Be aware of surroundings. People are trying to take advantage of people all the time during this type of year. A lot of money is being spent. A lot of packages are being bought and shipped and delivered. If you're not going to be home and you're worried about your packages not being delivered, or your package being stolen from your front porch, there's other options that carriers can use to prevent that for you. FedEx has different options, UPS has different options, and so does the post office. They can hold your package at the post office itself. Even a neighbor, if they're home, someone that you trust to take possession of your packages, that's better than possibly having them taken off your porch step. And instead of carrying cash, we're now living more in a society where cash has become kind of passe. We use more plastic more often anyway, and that's good advice, because cash you cannot recover if cash is stolen from you. If you get a fraudulent charge on your debit or credit card, or those cards are stolen and there's fraudulent charge on your credit card, you're a bank and or person or a company that holds your credit card, you can get that money back usually within the matter of days now, but cash you cannot. Yesterday, the St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney's Office had their grand opening of their satellite office, and Mayor, I'll let you speak to this when your report comes up. I just wanted to mention that these satellite offices are staffed by, or will be staffed by, prosecuting attorneys. Two of them are opening them up, one in Florissant and one in Chesterfield, but the one in Florissant was the grand opening for both. We've been fighting for this spot for like 20 years. The chiefs backed the prosecuting attorney's office with the council to get the money to fund extra prosecutors, extra staff members, and the satellite offices, because they're of the best interest to the public. The police deal with the prosecutor's office all the time, and everyone has to go to Clayton. Having a local office to go to makes things much more efficient, and things happen a lot faster in terms of getting warrants and getting people prosecuted for crimes. We have 4 people in our hiring process. One just started. One's in the one starts at the end of this month, and we have potentially 2 more starting next month. But the caveat, they finish a couple steps in the process. I want to congratulate my administrative assistant, Angie. Most people know her. She's great. That place would not be as great as it is without her. This week marks her 20 years of service with the city, and it's also going to be her birthday next week. And that's actually all I have to report, sir, unless anybody has any questions.
Any questions?
I do.
Go ahead.
Okay, hi, Chief. I have a couple of questions. Is there possible that you can send to the complete board? I can't seem to locate it in our ordinance that we cannot have commercial vehicles, 18-wheelers parked in the driveway and on the street. Can you send me that ordinance again, please?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Okay, and the other question is, what are our citizens supposed to do when they call 911 and they're told you don't have enough police officers and they'll come when they can?
It depends. If it's an emergency, people do sometimes call 911 for non-emergency issues, so it's prioritized. No one will have to wait on an emergency issue ever. Someone will show up, whether
so for non-emergency, they have to wait.
Yeah, it's prioritized. So if they're calling in a derelict vehicle, let's say, and we have a domestic issue, we have a theft issue, and we have other priority calls or in progress calls too that we have to show up to. The real small calls we will get to, but it might be a little bit later on, depending on how busy patrol is at that given time.
And currently, how many officers do we have on staff right now?
16, including me.
And that's including the sergeants and lieutenants?
Correct.
And do you plan to bring the new officers to the board?
Yes, when available.
When available. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Alderwoman Chapman.
Alderwoman Dale, if you go to section 17 of our ordinance book, the ordinance you want is section 17-30.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I want to commend, and I didn't get the officer's name, 2 instances that happened. On Tuesday evening, I was going down Chambers and I noticed, it was kind of funny, I had to laugh, so I'm gonna laugh at myself. So I kind of noticed a police car parked in the dark, on Chambers where they raced down the hill.
Mm.
He was parked. And I'm like, all right. And then today, someone was trying to get to my home and they had been lost for like 30, 40 minutes. And an officer actually trailed them to my house and stopped them. At the same moment, they were calling me saying, Alderwoman Tapman, where's your house? The police, I heard the officer asking them, may I help you? And it was refreshing because the person said to me, you know, he had been following me for a while. And I'm like, so I want to commend the officers, like I said, I didn't get either name, for patrolling the community, because everybody knows where I live. So for them to, you know, follow somebody because they have been going in circles for a while to get up here is commendable to me.
Thank you.
Alderman Thomas.
Yes, I wanted to congratulate Angie on her service of 20 years. And also wanted to commend our police department for the job that they continue to do with the restraints and constraints placed on them on a daily basis. Thank you.
All righty. Anyone?
Took it right out of my mouth.
I don't
Sorry.
see any hands. All right, so we'll move on. Treasurer's report.
All right, very good. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Good to see everyone. Happy holidays. Now, we had the RFPs come in today for banking. Would it be acceptable to the board if Semi could give us a detail? Now, keep in mind, these are sealed packages. They have not been opened. So we're going to look for instruction from the board if Semi and I can open those packages and present to the board on the first meeting. That would be Thursday, January 5th. The analysis on the banks, give the board an opportunity to select the bank choice for the city. So would it be acceptable if she could read into record who did submit a bid?
Yes.
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 I'm sorry. What was the question?
Oh, it was, Mr. Mayor, the RFPs came in today for banking. And Semi has those, and I was just asking if we could read into record, so we have it noted who the banks were that submitted an RFP to the city.
Okay, all right, that's good. That's cool.
If you could read those, please.
Yes. All right. St. Louis Bank did decline RFP. First one I have here was received December the 12th. And it's from Busey Bank.
What bank?
Busey. Busey.
Busey Bank.
Yep. Okay. The second one was received December the 14th. It's no name on it, but I'm going to open it. No name on the front. If it's not for me, I'll open a little slow. So it's no present for me, so it's a little slow. This is from Region. The next one I received was on December the 14th. It's from Simmons Bank. And the last one I have was received today, December the 15th, from Commerce Bank.
All right, so Semi and I will prepare an analysis. Now, so the board can note two of our existing banks did not bid. Citizens Bank and UMB Bank did not bid. So just so the board knows what transpired. So we'll see what the results are of the RP. We'll report back on January the 5th and give the board an opportunity to select a bank or banks of their choice. So it may still be advised to consider two banks, but let's see what the results are if that's acceptable. All right. Semi, were you able to get the financial report out to the board? No one received. Is it possible I could share screen, or is that not possible?
You can.
Okay, is it available? Because I have a draft report for October. So keep in mind, we're going to be 1 month behind, but we're almost there. Right? Is it?
Doesn't look like you can, Rick.
Can't or can?
No, can't.
Okay, so I'm going to give the board a quick synopsis of where we're at. As of October 31st, keep in mind, Semi has a draft, so everybody be able to see it. Now, the reason it's still a draft, we still have some unreconciled revenue and expenses. We're trying to decide where they are, working with Lori to get that. Now, keep in mind, Lori's only one person. So she's got a lot of tasks to get done. Semi and I talk about it, and it's going to take some time to get some of these reconciled, but we're getting close. We're getting close because we're through October now and almost there. Right now, the city is under budget. That's where you want to be. So we are under budget. What does that mean? We are through October 31st. That would be 4 months in. Your threshold would be 33.3%. So right now we're spending at about 24.69. So we're significantly under. I got to commend the department heads. Everyone at the city is doing an outstanding job to slow down expenses. Now, when we look at the cash accounts, we're almost in the exact same spot we were last year at this same time. So that's good news from the city. So we're well positioned from a cash position. Keep in mind, use tax kicks in January 1st. So we'll start to measure come February the benefit of use tax. So I just want to make sure everybody understands, come January 1st, it will start. We won't get our first check until sometime in February. We won't know what the dollar is. Let's see what happens. But the good news is we're going to see more revenue than anticipated for this budget year, fiscal year. Now, when we look at the fund, general fund, and we look at the revenue compared to budget, keep in mind, we talked about right now through April, what our threshold is. So keep in mind, through 4 months, 33.3%. On the revenue side, right now we're at 36.01. So we're 3% ahead of where we need to be through the month of October. That's good news. When we compare this year to last year, we're only $26,000 below where we were last year. So keep in mind, on the revenue side, we're only $26,000 below. When we look at sales taxes and city taxes, we're only $696 below, meaning we're running at the same level we were last year. On our utility taxes, right now we're $12,000 below where we were last year. Most of that sits in electric, 12,000 below. But keep in mind, 4 months in, can't read a lot into what we're seeing at this point in time. When we look at licenses, right now we're about $4,700 ahead of where we were last year. On permits and inspections, right now we're about 13,000 below where we were last year through October. And court revenue right now is about 27,000 below where we were last year at this time. So we look at rec center, right now, the first 4 months, we're below where we were last year by about $12,000. And then again, we still have about $40,000 in revenue that has to be allocated. So we're working diligently with Lori to find out what specific categories these go in. We know it's revenue. We just need to know which categories to place these items in. Now, when we look on the expense side, the administration right now, we're basically at about 11.73. Keep in mind, 33.3 is our threshold, which means we're right on target for spending in administration. Courts are at 19.43, again, under budget. Streets are at 17.99, again, under budget. Police 30.14, again, under budget. And the only one right now that's slightly above at 34.57 is recreation. Now, keep in mind, the summertime is the busy time for recreation. So you would expect for the first 4 months that we would see this and that we're going to trend on budget. So right now we're at 24.69% on our expenses. 33.3 is where we should be. So you can't say enough about what's being done here at the city. You're all doing a great job, great leadership, great management. If we stay on track, we'll be under budget for this year. Revenue's pretty close to where we were last year. So keep that in mind. We're bringing in about what we brought in last year. By the end of this fiscal year, it should be more because of what transpired with use tax. So again, if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to address the questions in regard to the draft statements for October 31st, 2022.
No questions? Alderwoman Tatman.
I don't have a question on the report just given. That was excellent. I do have a question. Mr. Rodman, could you tell us to date when we might receive the audit? We're still waiting on the audit numbers.
Correct. And Angela Dorn, who is associated with Sickich, they're the auditor. She was in the other day and trying to wrap it up for the city. Her comment specifically was that fiscal year was a mess. She wasn't sure what would transpire, how it was done, or what happened. So that's what's created the big problem. Now, keep in mind, that same mess is probably going to follow into the next fiscal year. So we're not going to go through the same problems because we've cleaned up a lot of that mess already. So we're ready pretty much to go. It's not going to be in the same condition as it would have been, but we're really at her mercy at this point in time when she can conclude. She's working diligently now to try to get this resolved ASAP by the fact that her coming in to the city and working with Lori to get whatever remains to be done. So I wish I could give you a date. I would suspect since she is working hard to get it done, we'll see a report in January.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All righty, seeing none. Thank you so much for your report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Greatly appreciated. Everyone have a great year. Stay healthy and happy holidays to everyone.
Thank you. Report from attorney report.
Mayor, we do not have any report for this month.
All right, thank you. New business, the board appointments. I guess we can strike that based upon Pat Barrett's report that the board has already filled.
Mayor, I had a question.
Okay.
Is it the point that there's no more room on the planning and zoning for members? Because Mr. Murphy and Mr. Ross have stated, they text me because they're on the line, and they said that if it's the point of being paid, then they would waive their being paid. The reason, and they can probably speak better for themselves if you would give them a minute to speak, because they want to be involved in the city. They're citizens. They both belong to the Carpenters Union. They have the skills, I believe, that will help us make it through these next years. And I understand that the people that are on the planning and zoning, I don't know how long they've been there, and it may be some time for some fresh people, fresh blood, to use a term.
All right, Alderwoman Dales.
Mayor, I'd like to make the motion of under new business to see if the board would like to waive the fees for the North County Fire Protection District. Would that be okay? It was added to the agenda.
I mean, if, fine, you add it and you get a second, then we roll them, you know?
Okay, I would like to go ahead and make the motion. I would like to make a motion that the city of Bellflower neighbors waive all the fees for 870 Chambers. In return, the North County Fire District being built. In return, the North County Fire District will waive all the fees for related to the repairs and renovation of the rec center. And if the board approves it, the ordinance will be drafted and we will vote on it on the 1st of January. May I please have a second,
I
please?
second.
May I have a roll call vote?
Are there any further discussion? Yes, Alderwoman Smith. You're muted. You're muted.
Sorry, do we know what the total fees are?
I do not.
Bad idea, but you all go ahead.
I
Do we
remember
know
them
what the
being,
total fees?
I remember them being roughly 17,000, but I just want the exact figure.
I do not have the exact figure.
Okay.
Someone else? Alderman Thomas, I see your hand up.
Yes, you know, when Jennings waived their fees for the fire department, they received and you can confirm it or deny it, I believe they received a building. They received the old fire department for their public works department. You know, if there's a deal to be struck, why wasn't that considered for us also? Because they're going to be vacating that building at St. Cyr, Jenny Station Road and Bell Fountain Road. Also, without knowing, you know, the exact amount of money, how can we entertain what we are going to give up or give to them? That's all I have for now.
Can I answer that question, Mayor?
Sure you can.
It's about partnership. It's not about money. It's about taxpayer dollars. Either
Right,
way,
and you're giving away taxpayers' dollars too.
either way, it's about partnership. If we pay the fees, we're using our tax dollars. If they pay the fees, the voters in this community and our communities voted on it. It's about partnership. May I have a roll call vote, please?
I'm sorry, but I'm running this meeting. Alderman Thomas.
You made a statement that the people, the citizens voted for that proposition, and that proposition was passed for the amount of money that they asked for to complete that project. Yes, we do partner with the fire department, but at the same time, we are at a point where giving up any amount of money because we couldn't put forth right now 2 more people on the planning and zoning that have a desire to be on planning and zoning, and now you want us to agree to give away $17,000 plus to an entity that has already appropriated those funds, to my knowledge.
Alderwoman Smith.
So my comment is a 2-part comment. I'm one of those, I'm new to being an elected official, so I constantly seek knowledge of my position. And I did reach out to the chief myself, Chief Goldstein, to find out what would we be waiving, what was on the ballot, the verbiage that was on the ballot, and he provided all of that information to me. We did talk about the amount that would be considered for waiving, and I asked that question only because I don't have the exact figure, and I did write it down on a sticky, so I apologize to Alderwoman Dales, but it was 17,000 something, but it didn't exceed 18,000. Like you, Alderman Thomas, I was looking for a partnership. I deal in corrections. I had just never heard of a city charging fees. That was something new for me. And he explained it does happen, but the partnership part, I think Alderwoman Dales is speaking of. When I went to talk to Chief Goldstein, his thing was when we have different things in the city that requires fees for the fire department, they would waive our fees. So it was things like that. And I totally understood, but you know, all of the verbiage and things like that was just something new for me. So I needed to go seek the knowledge for myself. So the other part, Alderman Thomas, you mentioned was about the 2 other people for planning and zoning. I know, being a part of the youth commission, there is an ordinance that tells you how many seats that each board or commission can have. So I'm not sure what planning and zoning has or what it states, only because I haven't read the ordinance. But for the youth commission, there is a specified number for each board and commission. So maybe that's what Pat Barrett was speaking of, is they don't have any vacancies, and that's per the ordinance. That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Tell you what. Yeah, anyone else? All right. Just let me say this, and you do what you want to do, because you're not going to pay attention to anything I say anyway. But the citizens voted to approve the amendment to build that firehouse. And you can't tell me that the chief didn't know that you would need fees. Fees were part of that vote. And so this is double dipping. And if you want to give it to him, you vote to give it to him. So is there a second to the motion? Did we get a second?
I agree with you, Mayor. I agree with you. This is the city engineer.
I thought this was just for the board.
I'm sorry, madam, but I'm running this meeting. If you want to say something, Kevin, go ahead.
I don't know why this is being even brought up. That as you're right, Mary, that's part of a building process is fees. And what we'll have to do requires time, which is money, and it's a big building. So it's part of our ordinance. So, you know, I don't understand why we would want to waive that. And I think the way Mayor Pearson stated it, I agree with him wholly. So that's what I have to say.
Any further discussion? If not, call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Tatman?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Alderman Hester? Alderman Hester?
You're on mute.
Okay, we are voting to say
waive the fees is what we're voting.
Yes to waive the fees, or no, or okay.
Waive the fees.
Alderman
Give away
Hester?
citizens' money. That's what we're voting to do.
No?
No.
Alderman Thomas?
You muted.
No.
Alderman Harmon Ward?
You muted. Alderman Ward, you.
No. Alderman Dales?
Yes.
Alderman Smith?
Yes.
Mayor, 3 yeses, 3 noes.
Then the motion fails. On the new business.
It was 4-3.
I beg your pardon?
I'm sorry. Did she say it was 3-3 or 4-3?
It's 3-3.
Teresa voted no.
Teresa voted no.
Okay, so it's 3.
1,
3.
Yes.
Okay.
4.
All right, let's move forward.
It's only 6 alder people here.
Okay. Jimmy, bid preparation for pool plumbing repair.
Yes, good evening, Board. So we had the bid opening for the pool plumbing repair on December 13th. We had 2 bids that came in. One was Westport Pools and the other one was Capri Pools. I'll just go ahead and read off the base bid amounts that included the alternates that were put on there. So the alternates were the discharge of the slide and then the play structure. Those pipes are both leaking at the current moment. The total bid for Westport was $46,589.54 cents. The total bid for Capri Pools was $61,700. Westport did include a deduction of 33,890.08 if the city's maintenance staff were to remove the existing plumbing and all the valves. They were going to come in and show the staff where to cut the plumbing at, and then we would remove that material for them. So that would save us $3,800. So the total costs of the project for Westport bids in it with the us doing the work was $42,699. We did receive a grant from the Community Development Block Grant in 2021 for pool repairs. This was in the amount of $30,000. So I'm requesting tonight that we approve Westport's contract as stated with the both alternates, which equaled $42,699. It would cost the city then, with the grant money applied, $12,699, which I'm requesting that we allocate that from the ARPA funds if possible. So I can move forward with replacing all this plumbing. The plumbing in the pool is actually down in the pit. It's original plumbing from 1975 when the facility was built. We have a bunch of cast iron valves that a lot of them don't even work or leaking. Same thing with the outdoor pool. So this would then complete our renovation for the outdoor pool and indoor pool. Any questions?
Any questions?
Jimmy?
Alderwoman Dale?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't have my hand up. Go ahead.
Alderwoman Dale? You're muted.
After the questions, Mayor, would you like for me to make the motion to approve the bid that he asked for?
Yes.
Okay.
Jimmy, could you also add in the total labor cost that's gonna cost us for the employees doing the work? Add that to the labor cost amount.
I can do that math and get that in there. You want for the city employees, what it would cost our two guys for the 2 days?
Yes.
Okay.
Just for the
Yeah.
record. Yeah, just
Okay.
for the record, how much that would, that labor cost, because that is part of the cost that goes back into the bid. So when we vote on the bid, it'll have all total costs in there. So the cost for the labor.
Excuse me.
The other cost.
Excuse me,
Okay.
I have to leave for a second. At least would you continue? I'll be right back.
Okay. Is that okay, Jimmy?
Yeah, that's fine. I can get you guys that figure.
Yeah, that way we'll have the true cost of the job. With
Okay.
all the labor and everything. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more
Yeah.
questions?
I have one, Board President.
You may proceed.
You mentioned, Jimmy, that we would be using the ARPA funds. Mr. Rockman, I don't know all of what the ARPA funds can be used for, but just reading what they can be used for, renovations for the pool wouldn't be one. Am I wrong? Am I right? I mean, I'm lost.
I mean, it's still a facility repair, just like as if we were using them for the roof. It's still a repair to a facility. Same thing as HVAC or anything. It's just a repair to a facility.
Well, even a repair to, I mean, that wouldn't be part of what at least what the Missouri statute states for the ARPA funds to be used for. That's not one.
And
I'm gonna have to, go ahead.
Jimmy, I would agree that we probably should pay this out of capital improvements.
Right.
So the ARPA really is for replacement, like the roof replacement. So that was different, where when we're looking at a repair maintenance, that's not really qualifiable for our ARPA funds.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't use ARPA funds to repair or maintain. So
Okay. Well,
if you recall, all of our maintenance and all that went through capital improvements.
that's fine. If we can take it out of capital, then if that could be allocated in any sort, I'm not sure what the current numbers are for, or if we have money to do that. If we didn't do the 2 alternates and let them for the outdoor pool that are currently leaking and push that off till next fiscal year, then it would cost us, what was it, $4,090, not $4,900 out of pocket without the alternates.
You said 4,900?
Yes.
Alderwoman Dale, Tackman.
Mr. Rockman, can we then make the adjustment, since we're just getting that information, making that adjustments in the Hopper Fund? Because we did vote Alderwoman Smith last year before last, whatever, to use the CBDG funds for the pool. But just getting that information about the opera funds, we probably need to adjust the budget. If we're taking it out of capital, we need to readjust the budget to show that.
Correct. What we'll do, so what we're going to wind up doing, we'll find room because I think this is important to the city. So we'll find the room to be able to make this work. So not a problem. It's not significant enough that it's going to alter our budget significantly. So keep that in mind. But to Alderperson Smith's point, it cannot get paid out of ARPA. It's going to have to come out of capital improvements budget.
Yeah, and it's a good deal. We're excited that the pool is getting fixed. We're just like, you've been helping us so much. We're just trying to keep everything in order. So if we
Thank
make
you.
those adjustments, we can show on paper what happened, and then we can vote on it and have it on record.
Right. And I appreciated the board when we know we have a situation here where it's not in the budget, that we recognize that.
Yes.
Specifically state the fact that we're going to approve something that wasn't in the budget, but we're going to find a method to make it work before the end of the fiscal year. Just so we all realize that we're trying to live within this budget to the best of our abilities. So I just want to make sure when we are approving something, if it's acceptable to the board, and we know it wasn't in the budget, and Jimmy's been very clear it was not, that we need to go ahead and make the motion, realizing that fact, and that we're going to amend the capital improvements budget to include this, and we'll find a way to stay within budget before the end of the year. Not a problem.
Thank you. Good job, Jimmy.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Jimmy, that ends your report?
Yeah, I'm just, I would like to have the board vote on adding the alternates. So
Okay.
if we possible, find the money for the 12,000. That way the pool is completely done. Because next May, once the roof and the gym's done, I don't foresee at this point, unless something major else happens to maybe the HVAC or anything, there being any leftover outstanding repairs at the facility. So we can move forward to next summer with a full working facility and hopefully start increasing that revenue.
Okay. Alderwoman Dales?
So can you specifically state what it is you're asking us to make the motion for?
Yep. I am requesting the board approve Westport's contract in the amount of, let me double check, make sure I'm reading the right one, of $42,699.46. And that does include the base bid and then the two alternates. The city maintenance staff will perform the work of removing the current demo of the plumbing.
Don't forget to add to the motion, Jimmy, with adding the cost of labor from.
Yep, and I'll add the cost for the city employees.
Okay.
And I'll have that included in the contract so you guys can see that.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the bid for Westport Contractors in the amount of $42,699.46. The base bid, two alternates, and the labor.
Is there a second?
I second.
All righty. Simi, did you hear those seconds?
Regina second.
There was a couple of seconds. Did you hear them?
Regina and Hester and Harmon.
I did. Yes.
Okay. All in, Simi, what you call the roll?
I sure will. Alderman Tatman,
Yes.
Alderman Hester,
Yes.
Alderman Thomas,
Yes.
Alderman Harmon Ward,
Yes.
Alderman Dale,
Yes.
Alderman Smith.
Yes.
Mayor, motion passed.
All righty. Motion passes.
Thank you, board. I appreciate it.
All righty. So we'll move down to the Christmas party. Because board number 2661 has been removed. Christmas party. Let's have a party. Ain't nothing wrong with a party after a good fight.
Oh, am I supposed to
We're
say
gonna
this?
talk on the party. Thomas, you got your hand up.
Yeah, I was gonna make a motion unless there was any other discussion.
Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna make a motion to accept the amount of money of $700 to pay Diners Delight for Christmas party for employees of the city of Belle Fountain Neighbor.
Is there a second?
Employees and older people.
Okay.
Employees and all the people.
And and mayor and everybody.
Oh, me too.
Everybody.
Okay.
Everybody.
Alderwoman Smith,
I second.
are there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed is nay. Ayes have it. Motion carries. The mayor's report, I don't have much of a report. I just want to just say that I was at the announcement of the county prosecutor's satellite up at Florison's courthouse, along with Officer Sanders from our city was with me. And the chief told you what it was about, and it's going to make things a lot easier for law enforcement as we move forward. I want to thank Angie for her 20 years of service in our city. We had cake for her today, and thank the rec center, Jimmy and the rec center, for the dinner for the seniors. I went over and greeted them this morning, afternoon. And I want to thank Rick for the budget, for cleaning up the budget. I spoke with the auditor not yesterday, but Tuesday, I believe it was. It's really been tough trying to pull all of that together. And, you know, and she believes she'll have it done soon. So that's good news. The other thing I want to do is wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Be safe, take care of yourself as we go through this holiday season. And just to share with you that Tuesday, the wife tested positive for COVID. Took her to the doctor today. That was her beckon for me to come a minute ago. But she's getting better. She's on medication, but she's getting better. So we keep her in our prayers. Also, that's it. That's it. You guys have done some good work tonight, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you, and I just need you to know that in business, we sometimes have disagreements and arguments, but we don't have to fall out over it. Right. It's business. Let's remember, it's not personal, it's business. Keep it business. That's all I have. I'll turn it over to the board for their report.
Alderman Tatman.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to also commend Angie for her impeccable service, but also to Judy. Judy has been with the city and kind of held our building department together. So I want to commend her as well. I would like to also commend Director Lane, Wanda Lane, who is passionate about our children. She's in the right place at the right time because we need advocates, not people just warming those seats. So I want to commend her on chiding us when we needed to be chided to show up and get involved, but also commend her that she's not just talking. She's learning and she's sharing statistical data that helps us stay informed to make informed decisions. And I'm going to put out a plea to everybody that's on this line, on the Zoom tonight. We have created what is called creating healthy lifestyles, promoting healthy communities. The statistical data in the health disparities are astronomical in our city, Bellefontaine neighbors. We have the highest health disparities in North County. I think I mentioned last meeting that I've been a part of a collective, and we've been meeting with epidemiologists, infectious disease experts, and some of the top doctors in our region. I want to invite everybody on here on January 17th to come and be a part of the health summit that's been created. We're trying to get, just like the crime prevention summit, we're trying to get practical information and actually tools in the hands of our citizens to keep them healthy. And I know it may sound extreme, but it is alive during this triple pandemic. People are dropping like flies along with the other harmful health additives that we have. Opioid crisis in our community, the highest. Also diabetes and hypertension and suicide, North County. And those statistical data is coming directly from the health department. So I want to invite you. I will send out the Zoom address January 17th. We'll be meeting with other epidemiologists, infectious disease, all of the experts to help us put the summit together. The date is April 15th, which is a Saturday, from 10 to 4. It'll be held at Riverview Gardens High School Gymnasium. Stay safe, stay healthy this holiday. Don't be ashamed to wear your mask. Don't be ashamed. If you're the only one in the room, that means you're safe. Don't be ashamed to wear those masks. That's coming from the epidemiologists. We need to put those masks back on. And listen to this, and then I'll stop. Even outside, if you're going to be in close proximity, like we're walking out there and we're going to people's doors, we have masks on because we don't know who was there before we got there. Because those droplets stay in the air for an hour. So if you have masks, please put them on. And happy holiday. And like again, stay healthy, stay safe.
Wake up, Sammy.
Alderman Hester.
Yes, thank you, Alderwoman Hester here. I'll be brief, really brief. I do want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everyone. Hope you enjoy. I also had the pleasure of attending this past Tuesday, the Riverview School District Board meeting, and also town hall meeting, which was amazing. I don't think we do, let me speak for myself. I don't think I do enough, although I do a lot. But I want to encourage everyone that's on the Zoom call, residents, board members, and all, if you can, try to attend the Riverview School Board meetings. They have them twice a month on the second and fourth Tuesday at 7 o'clock. And the only reason I'm saying this is because I'm all still new to this. I'm not a politician. And I know that we can also all get busy with the things that we have in our lives. But this directly affects our community, which indirectly and directly affects us too here at home. So we need to know like what's going on. And just attending that meeting, there's a lot of stuff that I did not know that was going on. Of course, we assume, but just hearing it firsthand, I was very concerned. And there was a teacher that spoke in the town hall meeting. And when I say she touched my heart and she about had tears in my eyes, she touched my heart. So I don't know, Miss Wanda, if I can serve on the Riverview School District Board, but I'd like to see what I can do as far as helping, because I do have, my plate is running over, but I'm extending myself to do more and whatever we can come up with, because we are at the bottom. All we can do is go to the top from here. So that's all. And thank you everyone for attending the Zoom meeting.
Alderman Thomas.
Good evening. There's such a great need. I too was at the town hall meeting. There's such a great need for our children in our community. Bell Fountain holds 3 of the schools, well, 4 of the schools, because I was reminded of Michelle Obama, our babies. We, as community, as leaders, I see it would behoove us to use a word, not to be involved and not to be a voice for the Riverview Garden School District through our platform of the city. Again, I too send kudos to Director Wanda Lane and all of the directors that sit on the board. You know that election is coming up, and there are 3 seats that are available, Teresa. I know you got a lot on your plate, but there's 3 seats available.
I'm
not
strongly
gonna run.
thinking.
I know. We need some strong representation on that board that's gonna be for the children. Not for me, I or it, but for the children, you know, and to show the young folk that they can achieve also. You know, that's one of the things that I would like to see. I'm not giving up my seat and saying that I'm gonna give it to a younger person. I'm gonna help the younger people see what I'm doing so that they can step forward. Because if we put, it's just like anything else. You you can't give wisdom to a young person. That's something that has to be learned. And with that, I wish everyone happy holidays. When you see me again, I'll be a year older. Preferably, I won't look that way. But again, I think that as we grow together, we'll grow better. Thank you.
Alderman Harmon Ward.
You're muted. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, good evening, everyone. As usual, I don't have a lot to say, but I too was at that meeting and it touched me dearly. I'm a piggyback off of Alderman Hester for the teacher that spoke. She pleaded with tears in her eyes to make everyone feel what she felt. And I think that we as citizens, we as older people, we as human beings, everybody has something to offer. And I believe that we need to come into collaboration and use what we know, use our wisdom and our experiences to try to make things better, to come together. I also think that we need some parenting classes. I just think that it's not to condemn anyone. It's not to take away from anyone. But I think that it can help. It can't hurt. Because from what I'm seeing, and as I said Tuesday, my experiences in the juvenile system, these kids are victims of their environment. Some of these kids don't know any better. I had a young lady when I was working in the juvenile system. Her mother had 11 kids. She was a single parent. We had 2 of her kids a couple of years before this young lady, and then we had this young lady. And the young lady came, we were talking one day and she asked me, Miss Regina, if my little sister and brother come and tell me that they're hungry, what am I supposed to do? How do you answer that? And these are situations and circumstances these youth are going through. I wouldn't want to be a teenager these days. They going through a heck of a lot more than we ever had to. All we had to do would be kids. They have a whole lot more they're dealing with. So I just ask anyone, residents, anybody that's out there that can hear, we need to come together and we have got to find a way to help our children. And I also want to thank Angie and Judy for your service. Thank you very much. because you hung in there and you did your thing during your time, and we appreciate it. And I also like to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody on here. God bless you. Many blessings to you all, because at this time and in this day in our lives, we have got to come together, because we can't accomplish anything separate. There's no I in team. And if we're going to call ourselves a team, we got to act accordingly. Thank you.
Alderman Dale.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank all the citizens for staying on the meeting. If you're a citizen and you haven't donated, we still need a bunch of toys for our children that are coming on Saturday. Teresa bought in a bunch of toys. We didn't have that many. We don't have that many that's left over from last year. So fortunately, the fire district donated $250 today for us to go shopping for some toys. But if you have it in your heart, if you can bring a toy for a child that's 5 through 12, boy or girl, unwrapped new toy, we would greatly appreciate it. A lot of citizens have been asking me about the policemen not showing up for non-emergency calls. So that's why I asked the chief, what takes priority. So hopefully the board can come up with some solutions, because every citizen that calls our police should be answered. I'm seeing that some of our citizens are starting to burn leaves. Unfortunately, it's happening. If you see that in your neighborhood, please call the police or the fire department, because one spark could go to someone else's home and burn that person's home down, or a person across the street. So we don't want anybody to be burned out. Happy Merry Christmas to everyone. It seems like sometimes we don't get along, but we do love each other on this board. I think we have a very good board and a good mayor too. I think we're all working together. We are in a political season. You don't have to take sides. We still gonna care about each other and care about the citizens. So just because you support somebody else, that's okay. We still are here together. The mayor said, this is just business. This is not personal. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and hopefully the mayor will let me be excused from the special meeting that you all plan to have. And thanks everybody.
I'm sorry, go right on, go ahead.
I'm sorry, grandma duties. So I want to thank everybody, thank my board, thank the board. We got a really, really good board. Happy birthday, James, coming up. I'd like to personally thank Angie and Judy for their service. We're going to wish Judy a happy retirement. And we do have 2 young ladies that are working very, very hard, and they are doing a very, very good job. In your newsletter, if you can let your neighbors know, everyone come January the 1st will have to update their information. And this is to help the people, everyone in our neighborhood. We got to find out who's staying here, and we want everyone to live right. Get those inspections done, and that's when we lose money. When people move in and we don't know who's in the community, that brings crime in. So we want to kind of get hold of that for everyone. Thanks a lot.
Alderman Smith. Sorry, Mayor.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for staying. Those that are still on here. I have so many slogans that are floating through my mind, so I'll tell you. Reach one, teach one. Fear ends where faith begins. So I would like to first thank Director Ms. Wanda for inviting the entire board out, including the mayor, to the town hall meeting, it was not what I expected. However, I was informed of a lot that was, or refreshed on a lot, because I do have children of my own that are now grown. So a lot has not changed, which was a little bit shocking and disappointing for me. I did leave a little bit early only because, like Alderwoman Tapman mentioned about staying healthy, there was a bunch of people that were around me that were coughing, and me dealing in corrections. If I get COVID and I go into a correctional facility, then it goes into the inmates and everything else. And so I decided to leave early, but I was very excited to hear how many elected officials did show up, how many spoke, things like that. Congratulations to Amy on her 20 years of service, and Judy for her retirement. Thank you for your service and your time. I was unclear, Alderwoman Tapman, so I'll get with you after the meeting. You gave us 2 dates. One was January 17th, and then another one. So I was trying to write it down about the health summit, and then you gave us 10 to 4.
April 15th, 10 to 4 is the summit.
Gotcha.
January 17th is another mass meeting with epidemiologists, infectious control, and leading doctors.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I wrote it down. Outside of that, again, like everything, this is strictly business. We have your best interest at hand. Myself and along with Alderwoman continues to drive our ward and find a lot of different things out of compliance, and we will continue to knock on doors, have conversations with our citizens that are here in Ward 4. If you have any issues, questions, complaints, you guys know where to find us. Last but not least, season's greetings and happy holidays to all. Thank you.
All right, if that's it, isn't it, Madam Clerk?
Yes,
Is that
sir,
the
it
last
is.
one?
It is.
All right.
Mayor,
Yes.
this is Susie. I just wanted to let everyone know that I really enjoyed being at the meeting this evening. It's always informative for me when I have an opportunity to do that. So I think the other thing is we would all want you to know that we at White Coleman and Associates wish you all the best, and that you have a great holiday season. And I look forward to another opportunity to be present with you and hopefully be helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just let me say this for clarity. I had every intentions of making the school district town hall meeting, but that is the day that the wife tested positive for COVID.
We don't want you there. That's why I'm no.
For that reason, I mean, the reason we went and got the test is because she was feeling bad. And so I stayed here with her. And also I heard somebody say they don't want to be 17 no more. I do. You should see me when I was 17, boy. I wasn't born here.
Oh,
Can I get a witness up in here? My hair looked like Elisa's hair. Hanging all down my shoulders. All right, we go now to citizens' comment. Citizens, do we have any citizens who wishes to make?
Oh, Mayor, before you go to citizens' comments, I do have one more comment. For those that may need masks, we do have some still left at City Hall. Please use your mask. This is not just about the COVID season. It's about the flu where folks not, they're coughing without covering their mouth. So please stop by City Hall if you need masks. Thank you.
Good idea. Thank you.
Yes.
Are there any citizens who would like to end the meeting tonight with your comment?
My hand's up, Mayor.
All right, go right ahead.
All right. It was a great meeting this evening. I'm going to say happy holidays to everybody and be safe as everybody else has said on the board. I did have some questions, but it was just a lot of information that's going on. I did miss the board meeting, but as I told Director Lang, from a taxpayer perspective, our kids are grown as well. I think the critical piece is engagement, and that's from a parent standpoint. So my view is from a parent standpoint. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to help, but I feel everybody's passion and pain on the call. So whatever we can do as a community, I guess I'll be all in, right? So I just want to put that out there. I had a question, man, for Rogden around the financials, and I just totally forgot. So I'll think about it and I'll just send an email. It was just so much information. Oh, planning and zoning. So I know Pat Berry mentioned we don't have openings on planning and zoning at this point. I'm not sure how this action got on the agenda. I would have thought there would have been some type of conversation, but before the action was placed on the agenda. However, you know, we're looking at our ordinance in the community. They were written in 1950. Many of them were. Is this an opportunity, as James Thomas said, Alderman Thomas stated, is this an opportunity to review that ordinance and see if we need to expand the members on that committee? Because we do need to pull in those people, citizens, residents who have the knowledge that could help. That was really what I wanted to focus on, because I think we can expand that ordinance at the two people and the committee work together. That's it.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Let's see.
Hi, Mayor.
Yes,
First of all, thank you so much for staying home. I covered for you though. When they called your name, I said, he's ill. So that wasn't completely true, but it wasn't completely not true. Right. But thank you so much for taking us in consideration. And I'm telling you guys, you are all of you are warming my heart, because all I did was ask and you all answered, and I appreciate that. And just so you know, a bit kudos, there were more elected officials from Bell Fountain Neighbors than any other municipality that the Riverview Garden School District serves. So we had the lion's share of involved and connected elected officials, and we really appreciate that. Teresa and Ms. Marcy, I appreciate you all's hearts and passions, and I'm just hoping that you make the right decisions, and I will do everything I can to help you in those endeavors. We have 3 seats that will be seating on the April 4th election, 3. So we really need to have people who really have a heart and passion for the city, and I appreciate that. Regarding Ms. Marcy's comment regarding planning and zoning, and I'm not going to ask you, attorney, for an answer, but I've always wondered, and I think I know, there's a Missouri revised statute, and then there's the city statute, and I know one is one outweighs or takes superiority over the other one, but the Missouri statute is broader. And we don't follow it completely anyway, because the Missouri statute says there should be no compensation for planning and zoning members. And we, of course, do. And we do have a member on our commission that truly donates their energy and their time and receives no compensation right now. So those taxpayer funds would be available. And I do agree that when we have citizens who are interested in showing some concern and want to get involved in the city, I think we should do everything that we can to embrace that. So I don't know either, Mayor, Ms. Morrissey, how everything happened the way it did, but I hope we can come back and address that. And I just wish everybody a happy and a safe holiday season. Always, you never judge a book by its cover. Keep a stiff upper lip and all that other stuff. Just, we're going to continue to persevere as we always have. Thank you so much.
That is correct. Thank you. Anyone else?
I'd like to say thanks for the street sweeper coming and cleaning up the streets. They've been working hard on that. Looking good.
All righty. Anyone else? I don't see any hands, so thank you all for being on tonight. And now that's one good thing about Zoom. People sit at home and they'll show up on their Zoom, and I like that. So we will see if we can't make this permanently available for you so that you can continue to make the meeting. Now, with that said, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Mayor, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting for today, December 15th at 9:38 p.m. Central Standard Time.
I second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. I don't know how many times, but I agree with it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. Ayes have it. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good one, everyone.
Good night. Happy holidays.
Good night.
everyone.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
All of that.
Yes.
Don't forget the toys.
Oh, no.